Hi, it's Mitz. Thank you so much for being here today. I thought it would be fun to share with you some video clips of my life here in Japan, in Tokyo, Japan, as well as some clips that I took of the Tokyo yarn crawl. So I apologize that the video clips will be a bit choppy, but if you want to skip to the Tokyo yarn crawl section of the video, I will timestamp it below. I picked up knitting in the summer and have fallen absolutely in love with it. This is a shawl by Stephen West. It's called Shawlography. It's from last year, if I remember correctly, and I'm still working on it. We went camping during the summer, and I took this little project with me in the car, and I've made a lot of mistakes, but I found Stephen West's videos on YouTube very, very helpful, and it's always really nice to see the knitting up close with the tutorials. And my son was helping me film. We were at a garage, sorry, not a garage, a gas station, and he was helping me film. So there will be other clips like this one. You can see I'm taking I wanted to share with you the variety of ice cream this supermarket had. So like I mentioned, we went camping and we wanted to do some groceries for the camping, and this huge grocery store had a extensive ice cream section, and I really love the ice cream here in Japan. They come out with various different flavors depending on the season, and it's always changing, which is really, really nice. We decided to stop by a udon place. They're quite popular, and I think they have several branches in Tokyo as well. I just liked how the chopsticks were covered at the tip. And so this is what I ordered. I know it kind of looks like ice cream on the top, but it's actually white radish with some tempura and some salt and seasoning for the udon, and then you apply the sauce or the soup base on top of it, and it just kind of melts, which is really, really nice. My husband had the kare udon. These next video clips are just of me around the town for where we went camping, and I think it's always nice to see different parts of the world. It's so interesting. Somebody was showing their drive, and for them she was mentioning how boring it was, but for me it was so interesting to see the different parts of the world. So we've set up camp and we just are sitting and relaxing, and I don't think you can see the knitting that well, but it was just nice to sit down and catch up on some rows. To be 100% honest, I haven't really touched this project since I have kind of completed like a wedge section, but I've just kind of lost interest. I think I'm currently working on a sweater and the anthology throw. The sweater is called White Mountains, but I really, really want to get the sweater done because it's sweater weather here in Tokyo, and I really want to be able to wear it. Oh, you can see I've slipped some stitches there. I've lost some stitches. But yeah, I really want to finish the sweater in time before it gets too warm again. Usually in Tokyo it doesn't snow. I absolutely love snow, so whenever it does snow, sometimes it snows maybe once or twice a year, I get all excited. My kids get really excited too. But that usually happens maybe January or February, and then it's finished. March is just too warm. So I'm really, really hoping to be able to finish the White Mountains sweater. And yeah, I wanted to share with you the back side of the shawl. I always see beautiful creations of the shawls, and I'm always curious what the back side looks like, or the wrong side looks like, so I just wanted to share that with you. I'm not 100% pleased with the color choice of the yarns for this project, but I really wanted to just try it out, and I'm using the yarn that's called Holst Garn, and somebody commented before my other channel that it blooms really nicely, so I might not finish the whole shawl. I might just do up to a certain point, and then I might cut it short and just finish off there. So here is a very short clip of a match that we went to see, the All Blacks versus the Japanese team. I'm sorry, I don't know the team name, but if you follow rugby, you will know. My husband's coworker was able to get some tickets, and my husband totally jumped on that because I think it's a little bit hard to find the tickets for All Blacks, and so we had a lot of fun being there, and just the energy of the stadium. This is the Olympic Stadium, and I think this crowd was the most that they've had ever since opening this stadium for the Olympics, and so it was a very fun and energetic experience. I don't think we'll be able to ever see the All Blacks ever again, but that was a nice time. Okay, so now I'm going to be talking about the Tokyo Yarn Crawl. This is my first ever Tokyo Yarn Crawl experience. Like I said, I just kind of picked up knitting this summer, so I don't know how the past previous events were, but basically they released several patterns. You could work on certain patterns and participate that way. And they also had stores within Tokyo participating in the Tokyo Yarn Crawl. So once you visit the shop, you can kind of get a stamp. Oh, I don't remember if I took a video of the stamp card, but in Japan they call it like a stamp rally. So you would visit all these different yarn shops, and whenever you would visit them, they would kind of stamp your card or your sheet. So the first off is the Avril in Kichijoji. So this is kind of my I'm just sharing with you like the city scene around Kichijoji and walking to the yarn shop in, it's called Avril here. It's in a kind of, it's not a very long walk, but it's not close to the station either. It's a nice walk, especially today, the day that I was filming. It was a nice, cool and warm weather, and it was perfect. And the first thing I saw were these Blythe dolls in these really cute knitwear, and I felt really shy taking a video in the store because it was not a big shop. So I'm trying to kind of not hide, but just I didn't want to take like long clips. But it was so neat to see all the different types of yarns that you can see on the wall there, and you can tell the worker there, you know, if you wanted how many meters or yards, and they'll roll them out for you. Avril was really nice. I got my sheet stamped, and then they gave me a little freebie of some yarn and a button, and I thought that was a really sweet gift. So I had some time before I wanted to hit number 2, store number 2, like there was quite a bit of time, so I ended up visiting a shop called Yuzawaya, which is kind of like a fabric / craft shop, and they just sell commercial yarns, and I was so surprised to see the amount of yarns they had. I felt very like I wasn't sure what to get, and I ended up getting nothing because I just didn't have any plans, and I kind of regret it because they had a sale going on, but at the time my mind was just blank, and I just didn't want to purchase yarn without anything in mind. So I kind of regret it now because they had such a big selection of stuff with different weights of yarns and so many different colors. And so next is the place called Puppy in Shimokitazawa. It was very easy to find. I just got up from the stairs and it was right there. And here is the sign for the Tokyo Yarn Crawl. I was amazed at how many people were kind of in this shop. It was very, very busy. Then this one, I really regret not taking photos of it's like a pop-up shop. So it's very, very small store, but the lady was so kind, and she had like a little section in this, not residential, well, it's a residential area, but it's hard to explain. It's kind of like a plaza, and she had like a yarn booth there, but she was so kind. I really want to go back there. I'm just sharing with you the pastries and stuff that I got from the bakery that was close to the yarn shop, and it was so good. It was so good. It was very pricey, but it was a very nice treat. Now this is a different day. I decided to go to Walnut, and many of you may know this place called Amirisu International. I think they have an international web store as well, and they do podcasts in Japanese, and I believe they're quite popular. Here I felt a little bit more comfortable filming. I asked the lady if it was okay, and she said of course, so I took some time to film the lovely yarns that were displayed on the walls here. It was really nice to see a variety from various different brands. I think Amirisu or Walnut, they create their own hand dye, like they have their own line of yarns, and so they had those displayed there, but also they had many companies from overseas, and so it was nice to see and touch the actual yarn in my hand. For example, Knitting for Olive, I see a lot of people use Knitting for Olive or Brooklyn Tweed. Those kinds of yarns I see a lot on YouTube and things like that. And so it was really nice to be able to actually touch the physical yarn and see the actual color instead of just, oh yeah, Spin Cycle was another one. It was actually nice to see the yarn in person. I didn't end up getting any of those. I made sure that I wrote a list of things that I wanted to buy because I knew for myself that I would get quite overwhelmed with the choice. So it was really nice, like all these beautiful, like Wandering Flock and all these lovely yarns. I didn't know where to begin. So I knew that if I had a list, then I can go in there and I can always make another list and go back again, right? But I did have certain things in mind that I wanted to purchase, and I was able to get that. And they had an event for La Bien-Aimée, I think the day before or 2 days before, and so they had some items there. And then my last stop, I think it was a different day, I went to a shop called Spin, and it was so nice to see all these different colored yarns. I don't believe she carries other brands, but the lady there was so nice. I think there's also like a cafe attached to the side where you can kind of sit down and knit and have a coffee, which I think is a really wonderful idea. I do want to go back there one day. I just didn't know. Similarly to Walnut, I had one thing in mind. I knew kind of what I wanted to purchase. So I think maybe in the future I might go back there and just have a drink, take a break, and also knit at the same time. I think with these knitting shops, they also do knitting classes, and something that I'm very interested in is maybe learning how to knit Japanese patterns. I find them extremely confusing, but anyways, that's the video for today. I hope you enjoyed this first video on this channel. I have filmed a video where I'm just kind of sitting and chatting. It's kind of like a journal with me. If you're from the other channel, it's kind of where I sit down and just knit. So I'm going to name it Knit With Me. But yes, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.